Well, good morning, everybody. It's so great to see you on this beautiful, beautiful morning. No rain? Do you think we'll see some eclipse? I think so. Everybody have their glasses? I have to figure out how to do my pinpoint because I don't have glasses. My name is Donna Mitoma, and I'm so happy to chair today's service. Thank you for those who made the service possible. Sensei Reverend Gibbs, organist Howard Hayes, Kyoko Okuda Gibbs, who did our beautiful flowers, and the streaming of the service, Alan Goto way in the back, and Kathy Kumagai. We appreciate everybody's effort to put this service together today. Today is the first service of the month, and on the first Sunday of each month, we observe the monthly memorial service, which we call Shotsuki Hoyo, in honor of those members of our Buddhist community who have passed away during the respective month in which this service is being held. Sensei will now read the names of those loved ones who passed away in the month of April, in whose memory this morning's service is being conducted. For those of you observing today's service in recognition of family members or friends who have passed away, please come forward as Sensei reads the names of your departed loved one to offer incense in their honor.
Thank you, Donna. Yes, as Donna has told you, I will be reading the names of our loved ones who've passed on in the month of May. If you had a friend or a family member who passed on in April and they're not on our list yet, you can let me know and we'll put them on the list and read their name the first Sunday of every April in perpetuity. And there's no charge for this. So this is the people we know, friends and family who have passed on in the month of April. Firstly, Doi Tomoyo, Fujikawa Masao, Fujimoto Kenji, Fukumoto Suma, Gibbs Ruth, Goto Tsune, Goto Yoshio, Hanashiro Seiichi, Harabe Kazuaki, Hayama Yonekichi, Hida Yuko, Hino Naokichi, Horowitz Nishimoto Michi, Ikeda Dr. Kazuo, Inoue Kurakichi, Ishihara Kohei, Ishita Shizuko, Iwata Masu, Kawahara Kawahara Hinasaku, Kawahara Sumako, Kawamoto Masami, Kikawa Alice, Kimura Mamoru, Kiriyama Aki, Kobayashi Sumie, Konishi Tomi, Kubo Tamino, Matsumura Buichi, Mitsuoka Shigeru, Muraki Kayo, Muraki Toraichi, Nagata Nami, Nagatani Ito, Nakagawa Mitchell Mitsuo, Nakanishi se. Nakanishi Yukiko. Nakatani se. Noda Satoru. Noda Tadayuki. Okazaki Fuku. Okazaki Shohachi. Oki Saichi. Okida Hizume. Okuno Mitsuko. Omori Fumio. Omura Tsuru. Oshita Rikie. Otake Shizue. Otani Hamako. Saeda Asaichi. Sakai Gonzo. Sakiyabu Shigeichi. Sakamoto Some. Sakamoto Tsune. Sato Tadao. Sera Rikue. Tsunada Kiyomi. Takagi Masaichi. Takeda Katsuichi. Tamura Shie. Tanaka Tazuno. Tanaka Yoshitaro. Tanimoto Shigeyoshi. Tarumoto Naoichi Tom. Tsukida Shiki. Tsukimoto Tadashi. Utsumi Takeo Babe. Ue Tanaka Toshiko. Wakasa Hisashi. Wakasa Mitsue. Watanabe Tome. Yamada Nitaro. Yamaguchi Yasuyoshi. Yamamoto Tamigoro. Yamane George. Yamane Ishi. Yamane Tsune. Yamasaki Jun. Yamasaki Masuichi. Yamasaki Teruo. Yamasaki Ryuso. Yamasaki Satoko. Yamashita Naota. Yamashita Yoshino. Yano Kizo. Yoneda Hatsue Su. Thank you very much. That is our list of loved ones who've passed in April. And I thank those of you who took the trouble to come up to offer incense when the name of your family member or friend was read.
Thank you, Sensei. So next we're going to have reflective reading, and may I ask that the Sangha please rise? This is from a book called Jewels, and it's written by Reverend Ken Kenshi Tanaka. It's a book that is an introduction to American Buddhism for youth, scouts, and the young at heart. This is a story called The Gratitude to a Bamboo Thicket. In a bamboo thicket at the foot of the Himalayan mountains, there once lived a parrot together with many other animals and birds. One day, a fire started in the thicket from the friction of the bamboo stalks rubbing together against each other in a strong wind, and the birds and the animals were frightened and confused. The parrot, feeling compassion for their fear and suffering, and wishing to repay the kindness he had received in the bamboo thicket when he was allowed to shelter himself, tried to do all he could to save the other creatures. He dipped himself in a pond nearby and flew over the fire and shook off the drops of water to extinguish the fire. He repeated this diligently with a heart of compassion out of gratitude and to the bamboo thicket. This spirit of kindness and self-sacrifice was noticed by a heavenly God who came down from the sky and said to the parrot, "You have a gallant mind. But what good do you expect to accomplish with a few drops of water against this great fire?" The parrot answered, "There is nothing that cannot be accomplished by the spirit of gratitude and self-sacrifice. I will try over and over again, and then again in my next life." The great God was impressed by the parrot's spirit, and together they extinguished the fire. This is from the Samyutta Ratna Pitaka Sutra. And this is the comment by the author. "We cannot help but be moved by the parrot's determination and effort to put out the fire, even though it seems like a lost cause. We may feel the same way about how much each of us can contribute to tackling huge social problems such as poverty, mass shootings, and climate change. But the parrot teaches us an important lesson. That lesson is that if all of us did our small part, then collectively we will become a huge force to accomplish what appears to be an impossible task." Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So please be seated, everyone. Next, we're going to have sutra chanting, and we're going to do Sambutsuge. So if you look on page 33 of your book, whoops, wrong book. You can see the chanting. It's in a kind of an archaic Japanese language. And then if you turn past the page 33, you can see the English translation of what Sambutsuge is saying. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. As Donna told you, we're going to chant together the Sambutsuge. Before we chant that, I'm going to do a little piece by myself called the Shishinrai, which is to express our reliance upon the Buddha, the teachings of the Buddha, and those who follow the path of goodness. Shishin kei ilei namo shochi hu shishin kei ilei namo shochi ho shishin kei ilei namo shochi so Busatsu Daimuryo Jukyo Sanbutsuge Kogen Gigi Ijin Mugoku Nyode Enmyo Muyo Tosya Nichigaten Mani Shuko Enyo Kaishten Onpe Yunyaku Jumoku Yorai Yogen Chote Murin Shongaku Daion Korun Jipo Kaimon Shojin Amai Chie Itoku Muryo Shushokeu Juntai Lennen Shobuten Hokai Jinru Jinno Kugongai Tai Mumyo Yokunu Teson Yomu Ninno Shishi Jintoku Muryo Kukun Kodai Chie Jinmyo Homyo Iso Shindo Daisen Ganga Sabut Taisho Ho Kado Shoji Nifu Gedat Fute Joi Kainin Shojin Nyose Samai Chie Ijo Kose Tokubutn Fugyo Shigan Isai Kuku Ithadayan Keshi Ubutn Yakusen Nokuman Muryo Daisho Shunyong Odya Kuyo Isai Shito Shobutn Funyo Gudo Kensho Hungyaku Hinyong Oja Shobutn Sekai Bufu Kage Mushu Tando Homyo Shisho Kenshi Shokoku Nyode Shojin Ijin Nanryo Yoga Sabutn Kokudo Daichi Goshu Kimyo Dojo Chozatn Kokunyo Nayon Nimutoso Gato Aimin Nodatn Isai Jippo Raisho Shinnatn Shonyo Itonga Koku Keiraku Annon Kobutn Shinmyo Zega Shinsho Otsugan no Hi Rikisho Shoyoku Jippo Theson Chie Muge Joryo Shison Chiga Shinmyo Keiryo Shinshi Shoku Dokuchu Kagyo Shojin Ninju Fuke Namandabu 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 Gani Shikudoku Byodo Sei Isai Don Moda Ishin Onyo La Koko Namanda Buddhamanda Namanda 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 Buddhamanda Namo Amida Butsu 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 Namo Amida Butsu.
What are we going to do for reflective reading?
The golden chain.
Golden chain, okay. So next we're going to do gatha or singing. So if you would please rise and remain standing after the gatha for reflective reading. Our title today for our song will be The Texture of Life, and it's on page 157. The golden chain, which will be our recitative reading afterwards, is on page 8, following the song.
The texture of the life I live, I weave in colors all my own. and as the present life unfolds, I reap what I have sown. My choices lead to joys and fears, the fruit of thoughts and words and deeds. My actions fill this world of ours with sunshine or with shade, reflecting on my life again with memory warm or coldly dim. I listen to the Buddha's words, give thanks and follow him. Thank you very much, and please remain standing if you would for the reading of the Golden Chain. You join me as soon as I read the title. Page 8. The Golden Chain. I am a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. May I be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. May I think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Dabbutsu, Namo Dabbutsu, Namo Dabbutsu, Namo Dabbutsu. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Well, again, good morning, and thank you for being here at this service. Thank you for attending our April Shotsuki Hoyo service here at the Pasadena Buddhist Temple. As Donna said, it is still a lovely day, and it looks like it will be for some time. So after a brief talk, I hope you go out there and enjoy that beautiful weather. I do myself also want to thank Alan Goto for being our videographer and doing tech support, Kathy Kumagai at home doing tech support, Kyoko Okura Gibbs, both for the flower arrangement and for preparing the Naijin and keeping the kondo clean for us, and Donna Mitoma for chairing. Howard Hayes, again, is our organist. Thank you very much for being here, Howard. You played When I Can Almost Sing. All these songs were written by women, you can tell. they're all high. This, again, is our Shotsuki Hoyo service for the month of April of 2024, and our service is dedicated to the people whose names I read earlier, those we know have passed in this month. My Aunt Ruth passed away in April of 1971. I remember it was a couple of family events that I missed. At her funeral, we got the call as I was returning from the dentist for having all my wisdom teeth taken out. I had all 4 done at once, and I'll tell you, if they aren't impacted or anything, that's good. It really, if they're just coming in and there are too many, having all 4 done at once isn't bad at all. But I wasn't in any shape to take a 200-mile auto trip back down here to Downey. She was actually living in Downey when she passed. So I missed her funeral, but I remember her very well. Aunt Ruth was my mother's good friend, and they worked together as PBX operators. These terms are disappearing now, right? Some of you know what that means. PBX means private business, and the X stands for exchange, phone exchange. So you used to have to do some connecting with lines. Now the phone company does it all yourself. But she was the one that plugged your phone in so you could talk to people. And she met Ruth doing that for what we now call AT&T. They all called it Ma Bell at the time. she introduced my mother to my father, so if she hadn't done that, I wouldn't be here. So I really owe Aunt Ruth, and she was also the first of our family to pass away. She was probably mid-40s when she passed to breast cancer. She never married. She was one of 7 children, along with my father. She was the youngest daughter. She and her younger sister, she was the second youngest daughter. She lived her whole life with her younger sister, Margaret. Now, this is 50 years in the past, and you don't know these people, so it doesn't really constitute gossip. But my Aunt Ruth and my Aunt Margaret, back in the 1930s, almost 100 years ago, the same man was in love with both of them. And he couldn't choose. There used to be a song about that, Loving Spoonful, go home and make up your mind. He should have gone home and made up his mind, but he let it go for too long, He let it go for too long, and then he made his choice, right? But you've been kind of both these ladies, you've been relating to him, so when he finally asked Aunt Ruth to marry him, she told him no, because she didn't want to hurt her sister's feelings. This is not a very interesting story, I know, but this happens in all families. What's interesting to me is that my feelings have changed so much about that over the years. I heard that story when I was about 8 years old from my mother, and my immediate feeling was, oh, how sad. She could have had a husband and a family and children and had a wonderful life. But now I look back at it and think, how beautiful that dedication, the bonding between the two sisters. I couldn't see that at 8, but I see it now. And I now know that there are many ways to be fulfilled in this life. Not everyone who has a spouse and children is happy. And not everyone who doesn't have a spouse and children is unhappy. But I didn't know that when I was 8 years old. I just thought, oh, poor Aunt Ruth. She never got married. No, Aunt Ruth was fine until she got sick. And we're all not fine once we get sick. But she was a wonderful person. And I don't now, 65 years later, after first hearing the story, I don't feel sad for her. I feel that there was a beautiful relationship between she and Margaret, that they were bonded and not going to cross each other. You don't take anything away from your sister. Bonding with family and friends is the most important and the most fulfilling thing that we do in this life. Connection and commitment to others begins with family, usually, almost always. That active bonding with others that we learn in the family extends to others, to our close friends as we develop, as we grow up. And the bond that my Aunt Ruth had with her sister Margaret brought fulfillment, emotionally and practically. When she did develop the cancer, it was Margaret who was her caregiver and stood by her the whole time. Margaret would not let her down. She was always there. The Buddha's caring is always there for each of us. There is a real and a genuine caring emergent from this world, the Buddha's mind and heart. It is caring for each of us at all times. It's always there caring for us. Amida Buddha is irrevocably bonded with each of you and with myself, with anyone who will say their name or otherwise open their hearts and minds to the possibility of unconditional acceptance, which is what enlightenment is, unconditional acceptance and inclusion. The essence of Amida Buddha is unconditional acceptance, unwavering inclusion, absolute loyalty. That was what I saw in simple human terms between my aunties, loyalty. That loyalty is extended to us from the depths of being itself, from Amida Buddha. We are sometimes led by events to question the loyalty of some of our friends. It's sad, but it happens. Sometimes people we thought were our friends let us down. They betray us. It's very sad when that happens. It means they did not really bond with us. We thought they were our friends, but they weren't. There wasn't that bond, that loyalty, that commitment, that real engagement, that real connection. We thought there was. Sometimes we're wrong. We all have real friends, and that real connection is there. including those of you here this morning, I have many true friends, loyal, decent, good people who would not cross me. I bet all of you have friends and family like that too. You may not have had a friend, an apparent friend who turned on you. I have, and some of us have, been betrayed by our apparent friends. Were you betrayed by your parents? Some people are, you know. Some people have been betrayed by their parents, but not me, not me. Have your parents or your children ever disappointed you? My father disappointed me a couple times. When I was about 12, I wanted a saxophone, and he wouldn't buy me a saxophone or pay for saxophone lessons. But he bought my sister a grand piano. This is one of those places where sexism, on a rare occasion, works in the woman's favor. It's a girl, that means she's got to be artistic. She's got to play piano or something to make a good marriage. Now, boy, go get a job, play sports or something. You don't need to play a saxophone. So he disappointed me that he wouldn't give me music lessons or a saxophone. And he disappointed me when I graduated from college and I wanted to go into Asian studies. I wanted to study Asian religions, Buddhism, Hinduism. And I wanted to go to the California Institute of Asian Studies and get a PhD there. And he would not, I didn't know how to do things. I figured I needed my parents to get me through 1 year of graduate school and I'll make the rest of it my own way, working or whatever. And he would not do that because he felt like Asian studies. You can't get a job teaching Asian stuff. Oh boy, I sure could have in 1972. And I would have got a PhD in about 3 years. In 75, I would have been walking around with a PhD in Asian studies. And I would have gotten a really good job at some junior college in the middle of Missouri or somewhere. But I would have got a job with it. I would have got some kind of job with it. He didn't understand that. But he understood that philosophy, however vague it is something they teach at colleges. You could get a job teaching philosophy. So he said, if you study philosophy, which is what I got my undergraduate degree in, we'll support you the first year. And so I went to UC Irvine to study philosophy in 1972, and we won't talk further about that. But that disappointed me, little disappointments. You know, your family, your friends, even your close friends could disappoint you on occasion. But nothing like betrayal, nothing like betrayal. Your parents are those people you knew were there for you. Did my mother ever disappoint me? No. That may not surprise you. Many people can only see the good in their mother. Did my sons ever disappoint me? No. That might surprise you. Did either of my sons ever do something where I said to myself, gee, he could have handled that better? Sure, but I wasn't disappointed. Even in those moments, I was not disappointed. I was accepting them just as they are. The mind and the heart of the Buddha are turned towards each of us in that way, accepting us just as we are. Maybe they're now and then a little disappointed in the choices we make, but no judgment. Just pick you up and carry you forward as best as you can. The enlightened subjectivity of Amida Buddha receives us as part of its with no negative judgment. No judgment, just acceptance, inclusion. Only mercy, only inclusion, only caring. Always benevolent, always kind. This is the Buddha's mind and heart. The Buddha, in relation to us, is always warm-hearted and understanding. That reality coming out of the depths of being, accepting us as we are, always warm-hearted and understanding. This is the Buddha's heart and mind. I am an indulgent parent, and Amida is an indulgent Buddha. This is a pretty simple theme, and it will be a shorter than usual Dharma message. The point I'm striving to make is that bonding with others is crucially important. Bonding with others is crucially important. Connecting and being loyal and being committed to others is crucially important. Bonding is a connection that is steadfast and reliable. Up the road, a couple blocks on Woodbury Street, if you go about 10 blocks, right just this side of Santa Rosa Street, I think it is, there's a house that has one of those dry erase boards, and they always have a message for you, you know. And for a long time, the message is slow down. I understand that message. But they currently have a message. You've dropped by there, and I haven't been by there this morning, but through yesterday, they still had this message up, which is, be loyal to friends and family. Who could disagree, huh? Be loyal to friends and family. That's what they're telling us, our friends up on Woodbury Road. Is there a more absolute and universal value that is actually held by anyone? I doubt it. Be loyal to friends and family. We do that most of the time, pretty resolutely, each one of us. Being loyal to our friends and family. We know what that is. That is what the Buddha directs towards us, that unwavering caring, that untiring compassion, that absolute acceptance. This manner of being, complete acceptance, absolute unwavering inclusivity, is Amida Buddha. We are encouraged to be like that ourselves, if we can, when we can, but we are loved and accepted ourselves in any case. The Buddha is right to live this way, embracing all that is. The Buddha is right to encourage us to be as inclusive as possible. The folks up the hill on Woodbury are right too. They're right when they tell us where to start. Be loyal to family and friends. And that's the title of my talk today. Be loyal to family and friends. And if you are, and as you are, you will discover what the Buddha's relationship to you is, what life itself has been trying to tell you all this time. I will close the Dharma message on that point. Ask those who wish to join in saying the Buddha's name a few times. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sensei. You always have a very important message for us to hear. So next, let's see, may I ask the Sangha to rise for the closing reflective message. Again, this is from the book Jewels, and it is about the 5 principles that apply to us all in daily life. The first principle, life is a bumpy road. As the Buddha taught, life is truly a bumpy road. It's not a smooth road. Things often don't go our way. That's a fact of life, which means everyone is in the same boat. So if things don't go your way, you are not being punished, and it is not necessarily your fault or due to fate. The second principle, no divine or supernatural being who punishes or tests is part of Buddhism. Buddhism does not believe in a divine or supernatural being somewhere out there who punishes or tests you. Things happen on account of a whole host of cause and effect relationships, which are mostly beyond your control. For example, you were late to school, but it was because the bus was late, which is beyond your control. However, whether you suffer or not is up to you. We cannot always control our situation, but we can control our attitude or how we think about that situation. This way of thinking is expressed in the concept of the horizontal axis and the vertical axis. Number 3, turning problems into opportunities. We all have the ability to turn problems into opportunities to learn about life, the world, and about ourselves. And this helps us to deepen our ethical and spiritual understanding to make us stronger and wiser in dealing with our future problems and challenges. Number 4 is first person. Buddhism is a first-person religion. This means that we should face up to the problems of life in a personal manner, first and foremost. And the solutions must come to you in ways that are personal and unique to yourself, which is the only way that you can truly be satisfied and fulfilled. Further, you cannot help others well if you have not helped yourself first. This is like when in an airplane emergency situation, you are instructed to put on one's own air mask first before helping anyone else. And the fifth and last is the importance of physical well-being. Buddhism, like other religions, emphasizes not only the mind, the mental, and the spiritual, but also the body as well. Body and mind are not separate. How we feel and think is often influenced about how our body is doing. If you haven't slept all night, you can't think straight and will become grouchy, and you're probably a miserable person to be around. This is why Buddhist practice calls for the three learnings, which consist of 1, conduct, 2, meditation, and 3, wisdom to be practiced as a set. For conduct and meditation, taking good care of our bodies is vital. Many people have disabilities and chronic illnesses, but a society that cares for all helps everyone to enjoy as much physical well-being as possible. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Let's see. I think next we have announcements. Sometimes this part can be the longest of the whole morning. So I can see that Marvin, our reliable announcer, is coming up. And anybody else who has announcements, now is the time.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Marvin Inoue, and I'm a volunteer down at the Japanese American National Museum. I see faces here that I haven't seen before, so I'm going to make the announcement again. I've made it before. There is a book called the Irei book, and it has the names of all the ancestors of the Japanese and the Japanese Americans that were incarcerated in concentration camps during World War II. The book is located at Janum, and it will be here for the year of 2024. And the last day for you to have a chance to stamp it, to pay respects to your ancestors, is December 1st, 2024. The museum, it will be closing for renovations between the year 2025 and almost the full year of 2026. So that's why it's going to be here. And during that time, during the time that we're play a time and an act to pay respects to your ancestors. Thank you very much.
So it's really nice to see new faces today. And so if you'd be so kind, if you're here for the first time, could you please stand up and introduce yourself to us? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carla Poole. Thank you very much for welcoming me, my family, and our friends, my kids, Grant and Amelia.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And Carla and her kids have been here before. It's your second visit, I think.
Yes.
So thanks for coming back and bringing more books with us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Britt Tickler. Carla invited me to come here today, and I was more than happy. I'm here with my two children, Mason and Lily, over there. So thank you for welcoming us.
Thank you.
We won't embarrass you by introducing you again. We'll be here again next week and the week after. We'll be here just about every Sunday until late December. So.
And we have a website that tells you things that are going to be happening, and whether we are on Zoom also, on our YouTube channel, and it's because of Alan and Kathy Kumagai, who is working so hard and telling us that we need more lights.
80% of the tech that's been done
I
in the
know.
last 10 years.
It's great. Thank you. Yes, and one more person back here. Thank you.
And the book Don is reading from, you're welcome to take a copy. There's 2 copies in the back. I'll make sure that we have more. This book was written by my friend and mentor, Reverend Dr. Ken Tanaka, and he gave us about 40 of these for free. So you're welcome to take them if you like.
I really enjoyed reading this. There's another book that's called
Ocean?
Buddha in Your Backpack. Is that what it's? Buddha in Your Backpack is also another great book that's especially for young people, but at least someone like me can understand that. Thanks very much. Oh, by the way, if you have not offered incense, before you leave, if you'd like to do that, I'd be happy to bring you up and show you how to do it. Okay, thank you.
I'm going to go refresh those books. Thank you so much.